But champ, Baker Mayfield. Now we talk Baker Mayfield, man. The reason why I went with Tampa over Houston was because I have no faith in Houston's offensive line. And CJ Stroud, and I'm sorry, I got to say this, is regressing. He does not look like the same CJ his rookie year. Now, again, it's only early. He's still doing this without Tank Dell. He's still doing this without some of his other weapons. But I still believe in CJ. But Baker Mayfield, you want to talk about tough, resiliency? You want to talk about a chip on the shoulder? That's Baker Mayfield. Boy, in that game, and he took a lot of punishment, but the drive, champ, for the Bucs to score right after Nick Chubb just scored that touchdown, it didn't bother or faze Baker. 4th and 10, how he was able to get the first down, the drives, Bucky Irving breaking tackles. This is the reason why I would not be surprised Tampa wins the division again. Because we keep talking about what Atlanta's going to do, what we expect Michael Penix to do, how Carolina, they were supposed to take a step up after what you saw Bryce Young last season later in the year. But people have forgotten about Baker Mayfield. What's very impressive with Baker Mayfield, he's doing this without his best offensive lineman, Tristan Wirfs.
Yes.
And without Chris Godwin.
Yes.
So it tells you, and also too, Baker also has this perception of being a coach killer. The last 2 head coaches from the last 2 offensive coordinators have gotten jobs. You look at the former offensive coordinator, I can't remember his name, the new head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Liam Cohen.
Yes. You saw the job he did with Baker last year, and he's supposed to be doing that with a guy, Trevor Lawrence, who coming out of college was considered a generational talent. That was never said about Baker Mayfield. And when you look at Baker Mayfield, they talk it's either the weapons or the system, but at the same time, it's on Baker as well. He has found a home. He's found coaching. I don't want to dwell on the past anymore. We've said it before, champ. Cleveland made a huge mistake moving on from Baker and going with Deshaun Watson. And I'm happy that he is getting the last laugh. He is really, and again, and I love it because, again, he goes to my school, Oklahoma, OU.
You still got the helmet, right?
Oh, I got the helmet. You want to see it?
Let's see the helmet, bro.
Oh, give me a second.
You got to break it out, man. Gotta love OU, man.
I'm going to need that for tomorrow because we got Auburn. So we got to make sure we take care of our business against Auburn, though. I mean, their wide receiver core is scary. And plus, Jackson Arnold's going against his old team. So we got to do something. But I love what I've seen from John Mateer, who should be in the conversation for the Heisman. Although, my opinion, I would give it to Marcel Reed out of A&M. 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he did beat Notre Dame last week. Not an easy stage to play. So,
no, not at all.
But back to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, can we stop saying that he's not a top 10 quarterback? Can we please stop it? Because if you have not seen Baker Mayfield these past couple of years and what he's doing now, I don't know what more you could ask. I believe he should be in the conversation with the MVP, with Herbert, and with Josh Allen. Because we talk about what Justin Herbert is doing without his best offensive lineman, Slater, and with Quentin Johnson. Well, Baker Mayfield is doing it without his best offensive lineman in Tristan Wirfs, and even without Godwin, even with Mike Evans not being what he used to be. You see him with Ibuka. You see him with all the other wide receivers. Cade Otton is a really underrated tight end, champ. He's really underrated, and he can get you some yards. He may not be the most explosive, but he's steady. Bucky Irving, the way he was breaking tackles, him and White are a very underrated running back duo. And Todd Bowles with the defense lately has been looking good. But my thing is with Baker, I'm very happy because he beat two good defenses, Atlanta and Houston. You would know because he did beat you in the season opener. I predicted that one as well.
Yes, you did.
Baker Mayfield is just proving doubters, critics wrong. One doubter and critic is one particularly Colin Cowherd. And now, and Baker Mayfield clutch as well. What more could I say? But I'll let you go.
12 fourth quarter comebacks. 12. Took some time to look up some things while you were speaking on your segment, and I'm just going to be real. Do you know who has the most touchdowns the last 3 years in the NFL?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. He has more touchdowns than Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Jordan Love, and Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes, and Brock Purdy. He's number one on that list right about now. He is a top 10 quarterback, if you really want to ask me. And depending on where you want to bump everybody else in that bottom five up, he could very well be 6 or 7. That's just me being very, very honest.
Oh, and to interrupt, sorry to interrupt you, big fella. You even did a start bench and cut between Baker, Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts. And I know it's a hot topic. I know it's controversial. You know, there's a lot of people going to say a lot of critical things. You said you start Baker, bench Love, and you cut Hurts.
Yes, and like I stated, I know Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl ring, and I have given Jalen Hurts his props. He deserves all the credit in order for what he's done, because there's so many, like I've said it before, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but you've seen quarterbacks in this league with stacked teams, and they don't do anything with them. Jalen Hurts has gotten to the Super Bowl twice and won one with his stacked teams. When you think about stacked teams, you think about Lamar Jackson, you think about Brock Purdy, you think about the Detroit Lions. And guess what? He's done everything with that team that he has, though other ones have not. So I give him his props. But I base mine on arm strength, arm talent, and the ability to bring your team back at will. At will is the key word. And Baker has proven that he can bring his team back at will. So guess what? I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl right about now, but that team has the capability in order to win one. Look, Baker has that chip on his shoulder, kind of like that he had back when he was at Oklahoma. This is Oklahoma Baker Mayfield, because he's in your face. He was doing everything the right way. He's able to rally these guys. And if you want me to be honest with you, he gave my Georgia Bull. I know Baker Mayfield personally because he, much like C.J. Stroud, gave my Georgia Bulldogs hell on our national championship run that year when we faced them in the Rose Bowl on our way to the Natty, where we eventually lost to Alabama.
Yeah.
So, and look, at the half, we was down 20-3. We were scared. You thought that C.J. Stroud gave us a heart attack. We were literally coming from a deficit the entire game. We were coming from a deficit the entire game. And the fact that we even caught up with that offense, because I'm like, yeah, we down 20-3. This game's over. And the fact that, because we was predominantly a running team, we really haven't had to come down at that point, come from down from a deficit like that. But the fact that we came down from a deficit like that, 20-3, Heisman Trophy winner, and that offense was stacked.
All of those guys, Mark Andrews,
all of those guys on that offense that came from that offense are nothing less than Pro Bowlers. CeeDee Lamb, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, Joe Mixon. Pro Bowler, and then the quarterback himself, Pro Bowler. So, yeah, that team was stacked. That gave us fits that day. We had trouble stopping Baker Mayfield. But he's looking like that Baker Mayfield that could air that ball out like a Steelers fan. And shout out to my best friends, the Calvin brothers. Y'all know who y'all is. Y'all going against each other tomorrow. I know Big Cal is an Oklahoma fan. C100, I know you are Auburn fan. So it's going to be interesting to see how the bar is tomorrow when we go there. But, yeah, Baker Mayfield, man, look, give him his credit. He didn't come into a system with a lot of great players. He had to follow up behind. Look, there were so many things defying the odds with Baker Mayfield, much like Jalen Hurts. Number one, he was labeled a first-round bust. Like it or not, he was labeled that. And it's
not only that, champ, he was labeled Johnny Manziel.
Yes, he was labeled first-round bust, regardless of the fact that he got the Cleveland Browns to the playoff and got their first playoff win since Bernie Kosar.
94.
Yes. Regardless of that, everybody was counting him out, especially one Colin Cowherd. But you think about he went to the Carolina Panthers. That didn't work out well. He went to the LA Rams, started getting coaching, and even before he went to Tampa Bay, where he unfortunately had to take the place of the greatest quarterback of all time, everybody was telling him to retire. Why don't you retire and become a college analyst? You're one of the greatest college players of all time. Why don't you become an analyst? I remember that's what Colin Cowherd and a lot of the other talking heads on television said. So defying all of those odds, coming back from the top of the top to being the bottom of the bottom, to going back up top again, winning your division 2 years in a row, probably going on the third, depending on how this year goes. That's how you defy the odds. And he's been defying the odds since he was in college. Remember, he was a walk-on at Texas Tech, I believe. Walk-on at Texas
Yes, he was.
Tech.
Yes, he
Then
was.
go from being a walk-on at Texas Tech to one of the most historically great programs in the history of college sports. Oklahoma still to this day has the longest winning streak in college football history, 49-0. So for you to come from being a walk-on at Texas Tech, for you to win Freshman of the Year, and then also you go from there to go to Oklahoma, walk on again, and win the Heisman, the first ever walk-on in order to win the Heisman, those are how you defy the odds. It's not just a system. It has to be you at a certain point.
He has talent. I mean, Baker, he doesn't get enough credit for his mobility. Baker, is he the most athletic? No, but he's mobile. And he has a strong enough arm. Those were two underrated things about Baker. And look, Baker, again, he's not prototypical in size. Baker's about, what, 6 feet, 6'1", 215. But yeah, Baker,
if he's that.
No, he's at least 6 feet. He's
6 feet. I'm talking about we kind of exaggerating when we say 6'1", though.
Well, yeah, I mean, you say that all the time with Drew Brees. I mean, they list him 6 feet, but you're like, no, he's 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah.
But either way, can he play? And yes, is he a leader? Mike Evans, if you saw the interview that he did with Kevin Hart, he talked about how Baker Mayfield convinced him to stay for another couple of years in Tampa. And when I look at this offense, they're still going to be loaded. And Baker still got some good years left ahead of him. So he just needs to be the best Baker Mayfield. He doesn't need to be Tom Brady. He doesn't need to be, all he just needs to do is be himself. Tampa, another person's trash is another person's treasure. Tampa has found their guy in Baker. And Cleveland, you made your bed, you lay in it. Now, I mean, it's gotten so bad. I mean, you're looking like horse manure.
It's so bad now that even Steve Harvey did an interview with the Pivot today, asking for the Cleveland Browns to give him a shot. And if they don't give him a shot, just go ahead and trade him and see if he can get another opportunity somewhere else. That's how bad it is. When your team is so bad that they're talking about the third string quarterback, is because that's the only way you get headlines. That says more about your organization on how much of a dumpster fire that it is. That organization is a dumpster fire. So, yeah, when the third string quarterback is getting more publicity than the entire team, and you have one of the best defensive players, Cleveland, wasted careers. That's all I can say. Wasted the career of Joe Thomas on the offensive side of the ball, one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. Now it seems like history is repeating itself on the defensive side of the ball. You're wasting Myles Garrett's career. I really wish that he could have stuck to his guns and gotten the blank up out of there, because it's sad to see him on this team. Everybody wants to get paid, man, but get paid, young man, get paid. But look, man, in the great words of Gordon Bombay from Mighty Ducks 1, it's not worth playing if you can't win.
Well, but at the same time, champ, you didn't have a problem with it because, again, Myles Garrett, Cleveland, they may try to do something. We thought about the possibility of drafting Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett, but they decided not to do that. They traded the number 2 overall pick to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville ended up getting Travis Hunter. My thing is with Cleveland, they can't help themselves. And you talk about Stephen Ross as an owner. What about Jimmy Haslam?
What's so funny about Cleveland is they get these special players. They have some special players on this roster. Jared Jeudy, David Njoku, that guy's a specimen. No funny business. He is a specimen, and he's a hell of a tight end too. So you have a lot of great players on this roster. Offense, defense, you just haven't had the quarterback since Baker. You don't have the quarterback. And I'm hoping that, look, as much as I love Sador, I'm hoping that him or Dylan Gabriel is able to stabilize this franchise. I'm hoping that he or either one, because Cleveland needs a quarterback that they can get behind. That team needs a quarterback in the worst way. So either one of them would do it for me. I would prefer Sador, but if Dylan Gabriel wins, then guess what? Put your best guy on the field. But they need some quarterback plays because Joe Flacco is starting to show his age at this point. He has not looked good these last couple of games.
He hasn't. And I think at some point, maybe week 3, week 4, you'll probably see Dylan Gabriel. But with back to Baker, I can't be more proud. He is really, I mean, as an OU guy, I love it because people went as far calling him bust during his time in Cleveland. No, it has more to do with Cleveland organization. I'm not saying that Baker doesn't deserve culpability because he does, but Cleveland is more to do with Cleveland because they still can't get out of their own way. And Tampa, fortunately for him, he's found a home. He loves it there. They love him. They're succeeding. He's flourishing. This is the best football we've seen from Baker Mayfield. It's reminiscent to his days at Oklahoma. And this roster, this Tampa Bay roster, they're loaded. Ibuka, Cade Otton, Chris Godwin when healthy, Mike Evans, as I mentioned, Bucky Irving, White.
Jalen McMillan.
Yes, who BRF talked about. Shout out to BRF as well. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I picked Tampa over Atlanta, because I still believe as long as Baker's there, you still got a chance. And he's doing this without Tristan Wirfs. So it goes to show you that Baker is a lot more valuable than he's given credit for. He really is. And I'm really happy with what I'm seeing from Baker Mayfield.